I've been making videos all day. Okay, so you guys caught the last video where I had the situation with the worker and my load got rejected because I had to. Okay, so after I went to security up at the front and they told me my badge was good till the next day. So I'm like, cool, went back around to the gate and I was still 35 minutes early. The guard called back and he pretty much told me, hey, they said you're still early, you may have to wait a minute, but they're gonna let you come back. So I went on, drove back, and I docked my truck. So after I docked my truck, I go ahead and I head inside. And as I'm heading inside, or right after I dock my truck, like a slap in the face to the worker, ROC or Amazon Dispatch called me. They do this a lot lately. I don't know if it's because my performance score is higher now or what, but they've been calling me a lot lately with extra loads. So they called me right when I finished docking my truck, and they like, we have a load that we wanted to know if you have capacity for. So I'm like, hey, I'm at the facility right now. I'm sitting here. So if you guys can wait a second until I get in here and see how many skids I have, I may be able to take that run. Because usually I just tell them no, because I can't understand them. But I'm not gonna lie to you, the last couple times I could understand them a little more. So I don't know, it's kind of hit and miss nowadays, but I think they may be working on that issue with like the language barrier or whatever. But yeah, so I'm pretty much on the phone with Amazon Dispatch as I'm walking in the facility. Same guy sitting here, same exact guy. So when I walk back in, he got a half smile on his face, and I went over and he like, yeah, do you have your load number? And so I'm like, yeah, it's, told him the load number, and I said, but hey, wait a minute, you know, pretty much I'm on the phone with Dispatch, Amazon, and they're wanting to know if I have capacity to take another load. And he's like, they want you to take another load? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, they're not supposed to do that. And so pretty much I'm like, and the lady's on the phone, she's listening to me. So I don't make it no better. I tell her, I said, hey, he said he don't know, he ain't not looking it up, and y'all don't supposed to be load me up like this. And so I'm like, hey, can you at least go in and see how many pieces this run that I have right now is? And that way I can let them know. So he's like, well, you got 8 skids and so many bags. I'm like, okay, so I'll have some space. Can you look at the Edelstein run, which that's what she wanted to give me, and just let me know. No, and they're not supposed to be doing that. They're not supposed to be loading you up like that. I'm like, what, you got a scale there? Like, you know how heavy my truck is? So, man, I'm not gonna go back and forth with these workers, man. I told Dispatch, I'm like, hey, he's telling me you guys aren't supposed to load me up like that. You don't want to tell me how many pieces the second load is, so sorry, but no, I don't have capacity. And she's like, okay, thank you. But, you know, she heard the whole conversation, and she even face it, man, dude literally was going in on dispatch. He telling them, like, why y'all give me? I'm like, whoa. He said, the truck gonna be too heavy. So, man, he was really, like, hell-bent on me not getting, hey, you can have it, bro. I ain't even about to go back and forth with you. So, I went on and took what I had and got up out of there, man. It's like, I'm telling you guys, man, y'all coming in to do this Amazon relay, that's why I'm making the video, man. I ain't trying to sit around and complain. I don't do no bunch of complaining. Whatever, it is what it is. You know, like I said, I'm seasoned for this because I'm not new to shipping. You're going to deal with a lot of bad attitudes. You're going to deal with a lot of people who, you know, just don't want you to be on time. So, like I said, me personally, I wasn't getting too, you know, been out of shape about it. I told dispatch I couldn't do it and I left it at that. It probably would have put me outside of my hours of service anyway. So, I'm like, man, whatever. But, yeah, I got it loaded up. And before I loaded up, I had to give them back that skid that was still on my truck. So I took that over, and they tried to start a bunch of BS about that. Turn around, and one of the other attendants told me, hey, did you take it? I said, yeah, it was in my row. I said, just like what I'm picking up now, I have a skid that should not be there, but I caught it this time. And she was like, well, you know, that could be considered stealing. And I'm like, but the skid's sitting right here. Now I get stole. And she's like, yeah, I understand, but so, man, once again, I didn't argue with him. I understand, and like I said, I'll pay attention to that from here on out to make sure that only the correct skids are going on my truck. And yeah, that particular load I was picking up, it had like 3 different, a couple skids and a couple boxes that did not go to the location I'm going to. So it was going to happen again. So got all that cleared up, I got loaded, and I'm headed to drop the second load now. Sorry about how dark it is. I started the video, it was like street lights. I didn't know it was gonna get this dark. But yeah, man, it's just been a crazy day. Be careful when you're booking loads back to back, because you guys might encounter the same issue where it seems like you get deliberately delayed. So yeah, I wanted to do this as like a, you know, a recap on the last video, because I didn't expect to go back in and have a whole other set of events, but yeah, that's what happened. So yeah, I'm about to dump this off and go home. I'm tired. Prime week, I guess, is this week coming tomorrow. So we don't see how that work out, but the rate's been, man, super crazy today. I won't lie to you guys, the rates have been crazy today.